You are listening to Basement Chronicles with Lisa Dublin, episode number 47. Hey, you made it! Welcome to my basement. I'm Lisa Dublin, a health and life coach, and I help professional and executive women to live, lead, and speak with confidence. Because you know what? Developing your confidence and deepening your faith in God is the best formula for an amazing life. So, are you ready? Let's go. Hey, podcast listeners. Today's episode is literally called When the Student is Ready, the Teacher Will Come. If I'm sounding especially upbeat, it is because that's exactly what happened to me, and this week I was able to accomplish a major goal. Are you ready, you guys? What happened this week? I went on a 100-hour fast of only water for 100 hours. Now, spoiler alert, I didn't quite make it to the 100 hours. I got to like 94 hours thereabout, you guys. And to tell you the truth, the reason I didn't get to the very end is so stupid. But I'll tell you anyway because I'm not perfect and you already know that. And you're going to have a good laugh, okay? So I'll backtrack a little bit. So I have been wanting to clean up my diet for a very long time. Just hankering after it. You know how I always say, have red hot desire, which is actually the topic for today. And so I've just been in this thinking mode of, what if I was able to control my diet again, get things back on track? And, I've just found that I've been grazing a lot and just eating randomly and not having a protocol like I used to. So this has been playing in the back of my mind, this desire, just drumming up energy, I suppose. So fast forward to April of this year when we had Speak with Confidence, Cohort 9. And one of the students in there is a chef and a nutritionist. She helps people to use food as medicine. You're going to meet her at some point. I'm going to invite her on the program. Her name is Pamela Alexander Leonford. She's working out of Nova Scotia and doing very well there with an establishment that provides plant-based foods that are creative and tasty to the population. Anywho, Pamela was in this cohort and all she could speak about was food and how it's good and how we can use it as medicine for our bodies. She also went on to speak about all of the people she has helped, like in a very authentic way, because you guys know, like, my programs are about authenticity, all of them, okay? And very authentically and genuinely, she spoke about all those people she has helped all over the years, all over the world, to be able to overcome chronic illness by just simply helping them to change their diet and to get on a protocol that worked for their system, for how we were meant to eat. So I, as instructor, am listening to all this information and seeing the delight and the passion with which this girl is talking. She never needed notes when she did her mini videos in the course. She was just that dynamic speaker who was passionate about health and wellness, temperance, that kind of thing. Anywho, after Speak with Confidence was over, we did connect. And so fast forward to Pamela becomes my coach. And there were actually a couple other people in that cohort who were so impressed by the things that she said that they also reached out to her and got on her program. There's another person in particular, my friend, who actually did Speak with Confidence, Cohort 9, who got on that protocol. I say that because she's going to become important in the story just a little later. When Pamela mentioned to me that, the first thing that she wants us to do is to do this 100-hour fast, she's going to do it with me. It's not going to be difficult. She'll walk me through it. Like, my eyes just glazed over. This is Lisa Dublin, who in the last while has not even been able to complete an entire 6-to-6 fast or 12-hour fast. Like, I've done it a couple times, but it has not been as easy as it used to be to turn down my plate, either for spiritual reasons or because I'm trying to do intermittent fasting. But I trust her. From the first meeting with her, I realized this girl is a talented coach. This girl knows what she's doing, and she has a formula that might work for me. So I begin that 100-hour fast, you guys. Like, I thought it was 3 days when I began. I put it into the Zero app. There's this fasting app called Zero that can help you to create a fasting habit that I've been struggling with for the longest while. I put 100 hours in and it returns 4 days later. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But we are going strong. And you know what? Day one was very difficult, but Pamela was there with me. She checked in at 10, maybe at 12. She sent a voice note later in the afternoon and also in the evening. Some which what way. I made it through the first day. Second day, I wake up and I woke up at midnight, did my worship and all of those things. I have a splitting headache because she has also taken me off coffee. Did I say that from the day one? That was harder than the food because I love my coffee, or I loved coffee. But, I knew that it was bad for me. I'd heard it from Coach Rochelle T. Parks, who's on Instagram and YouTube. Go check her out. She's a health advocate and she's very good as well. And now I'm hearing it from Pamela. So I'm like, you know what? And Pamela keeps on telling me, you're a champ. You're a heavyweight. You can do this. You've done more before. Do you know what your calling is? You have to get this right. Y'all, I needed that encouragement. I needed a Pamela in my life. It's true what they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will come, because I had been hankering after this for so long. Day 2 is as bad as day 1. The headache, it increased. I felt like my head was in a bracket and somebody was just simply tightening it and just, screwing that thing in. Anyway, I just went to bed extra early. And sometime on Wednesday, the headaches began to subside and I began to feel lighter, clearer in my head. It was a beautiful day that Wednesday. It was a beautiful day, just feeling lighter, feeling that my mind was clearer, not being hungry, not suffering from the hunger pangs, but feeling like I could go through my day. I did everything I was supposed to, as in family-wise, business-wise, clients-wise, all of the things, you guys. And I was like, what? This is life. I'm good. Anywho, day 4, and I'm no longer craving coffee or food. I'm the person who is preparing food in the kitchen and not feeling tempted to even taste. In fact, when I was making lemonade, I think the Wednesday night, I didn't even taste it. I called my sons and I said, you have to be my taster because mommy's on a fast, So all of those things. But sometime on that 4th day, I think I got a little too ambitious. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to cook a spread for the family. So I had been cooking little things here and there for the last 4 days, not trying to stay away from the kitchen, but still doing my duties. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting in there. Stuffed chicken tonight. And I stuffed the chicken and I put it in the oven. You all know the smell of chicken in the oven baking? Oh my goodness, you guys. I tried to sleep. I tried to turn north, south, east, and west to get away from that delicious smell of chicken stuffed in the oven for my family. And I put that in air quotes because it was actually for me as well. And finally, I gave in at that point because I was like, oh my gosh, what is the point? What am I even doing? I can't do this anymore. I'm almost there. I even broke the fast wrongly because I was supposed to break with the juice fast, which I'm on now, right? But I just had a little bit of chicken and the stuffing and I didn't feel good afterwards. But here's the thing. That experience taught me that I do have more resilience than I thought I did. Secondly, I'm happy that, I'm off the coffee and looking not to continue in that vein because number 1, it's not really good for me. Number 2, I am a coffee connoisseur, okay? And the price of my coffee here in Edmonton, Alberta, right now is at $31 for a bag. It used to be $17, you guys. I have every reason and motivation to kick the coffee habit. Don't you agree? So that is my story of hankering after something and finally getting the teacher to come and show me the way. And the same thing can happen for you if you start from the point that I did, which is the point of red hot desire. I have spoken about desire on this podcast before. You guys know that. So you just have to go back, especially in the very early episodes of the podcast, to just hear and listen to my talk on red hot desire. So I thought I would pull out a story that I've heard over and over again from Eric Thomas that I am going to now tell you in my own words as a symbol or an illustration of what it means to have red hot desire and to go after something with everything that you have mentally. The story's told. Are you ready for the story? The story's told of this warrior who wanted to learn the secret to success. So, he lived in a village far, far away where there was a wise man who was renowned for knowing everything. So he went to the wise man and he said, I want to know the secret to success. The wise man told him to come back the next day. When he came back the next day, the wise man got up and said, follow me. He took him out into the ocean, and the warrior followed the wise man deeper and deeper into the ocean, thinking, okay, I'm about to discover the secret to success. It's probably buried deep in this ocean. I'm trusting this wise man. So he went knee deep, then thigh deep, then waist deep. And they kept on going further out until the warrior was almost submerged. At that point, the wise man put his hand on the warrior's head and dunked him underwater. And that warrior, he was in distress and he begged to come up for air. And the wise man relented and led him out of the water. And so this warrior, he's sputtering, he's, out of breath, and he's very angry and he's wondering what on earth just happened. Finally, the wise man said, what happened when you were underwater? What did you want more than anything in the world? And the warrior said, I just wanted to breathe. And then the wise man said to him, when you want to succeed, as bad as you want to breathe, then you will have success. Did you hear that story? When you want to succeed, as bad as you want to breathe, then you will have success. I did a live recently on YouTube. You can check it out on my Basement Chronicles YouTube channel. And I was talking about this red hot desire. And I want to ask you, listening to the podcast today, perhaps on your way from work, or if it's early in the morning, you're just on your way to work. What is your state of mind? Are you in red hot desire mode for something, for anything? Or are you that person who has just been reduced to going through the motions in your health, in your finances, in your relationship, in your parenting? Now, I know we get weary at times. I know we get beat down at times, me like everybody else. However, I believe the key to having more in life is to not to stay there, but to get up. And one way to get out of the funk and out of the depression and the disappointment is to begin to want more again, to begin to want something again with that red hot desire. Do you guys remember that poem that I always point to from Rittenhouse that says, I asked life for a penny, and then at the end it says, to his chagrin, he realizes that if he had asked life for more, life would have returned to him whatever he had asked. And all this time he was asking life for a penny. That begins with expanding your mind even before you know whether something is possible or not, even before you have the resources or not. Life begins from red hot desire. Do you remember when you were a kid, how you hankered after things? The doll at Christmas, the fire engine at Christmas or for your birthday? As we get older, I believe us as adults, we forget to have red hot desire. We just settle into the very normalized, stoic demeanor that says, be cautious, don't give too much, be wise. And I'm not saying don't be wise. Hankering after something has nothing to do with being impetuous, with being unwise, or with making rash decisions. It's a feeling from within. It's desire, pure and simple. And if we forget to have it, we forget to first indulge in it before we go forward in any goal. Lately, I've been in a couple cohorts doing some work in upgrading my business model, let's put it that way. And I'm in there and I'm seeing some people who are not as far as advanced as I am in business processes, etc. But I realize the one thing that seems to be missing is the mindset to succeed. It is that dogged kind of I want it and I will have it no matter the cost, no matter how long it takes, I'm going to find a way that works. Is that you today? And how can you start to develop this attitude that is definitely going to take you further? As I'm recording this podcast, the year is 2025. And I'm looking back at myself, from 2020 when we were sent home during the pandemic. And I wanted a better life. I didn't want to go back to the office. In fact, I began to confess from 2020, I'm not going back to the office. I began to hanker after it with everything that I had. I began to see myself being the person who was able to drop my kids at school in the morning, pick them up from school in the afternoon. Then if they called for something during the day, I could drop it off. I saw myself being able to go running at 10 o'clock in the morning because, that is what entrepreneurs do. You are on your own time. I wanted this so bad that I went out to get it. I did the courses, woke up when I had to, pushed the work as much as I could until I got to that point where I had to make a choice. The business was growing and the office was demanding, as was their right, that I come back to the office. And because that hankering had led to action, had led to me taking steps, I was then at a point to have a choice. What about you? I think what I want to leave with you today, dear podcast listener, is to encourage you to hanker after things. Is to encourage you, no matter the age that you are listening to me at right now, it is not too late to want what you want and to do so with red hot desire. You know what? I'd love to hear what you think of this podcast. I hope my jokes about the fasting experience kind of, cracked you up a little bit. Pray for me for the next one that I do. But I do feel like it has been an upgrade for me, just getting the help. And I know that the first step to getting that help was to first just hankering after it, wanting it, even though I didn't know where the help would come from. I wish the same for you. Do let me know what your desires are. Like, what are you hankering after? Is it a new job? Is it to be a speaker? In which case you should connect with me for my Find Your Fire program. Is it that you want a new career? Do you want a spouse? Do you want a child? What is your red hot desire about? I'd love to know. My email address is lisa@lisamdublin.com. I still answer all my emails, okay? So do get in touch as soon as you can. See you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today. Now, I know that you prioritize your growth and success. So if you feel stuck in any area of your life, why don't you consider life coaching? My signature program, How to Get Unstuck Total Transformation, has helped so many professional and executive women to free themselves of limiting beliefs and habits, learn to love and prioritize themselves, set firm boundaries and stick to them, be more confident, move up exponentially in their careers, and become the best versions of themselves. How badly do you want to get unstuck? How badly do you want to be the best version of you? If you desire more, take the first step right now. Go to my website, lisamdublin.com/coaching, and book a consultation with me. Let's talk about your coaching needs, because the life you want is totally possible.